Howdy, honey.
Tell us a story about buds.
So buds is the basic SEAL training that you see on TV and that you see people carrying logs on their heads and boats around and doing push-ups and pull-ups and getting wet and sandy. And the reason that I don't talk about buds a lot is because it's not about. And in fact, when you get in the SEAL teams, you realize that buds is nothing more than a screening process to weed out people that don't really want to be there. But if you compare it to what you have to do once you get in the teams, it's actually nothing. Because there's no way that you can compare, hey, you got to go get in cold ocean water and then roll around in the sand. Oh, no. And I always think back to the first time when I was at Camp Corregidor, and I'm rolling out, and there's tires burning the street, there's smoke, you can hear the gunfire. Getting wet, sandy, and being cold is a joke compared to that. So that's why the whole buds thing is something that it's not that big of a deal. And I think some guys try and turn it into a big deal, especially if that was kind of the highlight of their career, was going through teams and you deployed overseas. Then that shouldn't be the highlight of your career. It shouldn't be the highlight of your knowledge. It shouldn't be the highlight of the man test that people like to consider buds. It's not a man.
And to that point, I think it's, for those folks that didn't really get tested and to go out on the battlefield and experience the just incredible physical nature of combat and how difficult it is. Then, buds is like everything. So they talk about buds all the time, and so it's kind of this legendary thing. And look, it's a great training program. It's been around for a long time. It screens out the people that don't have the characteristics, as Jocko said, that we think are going to be successful, and it works. And we should keep those standards high, and we should push that. I thought buds was a pretty good time. We had some great times in buds. I love the guys I went through buds with, most of them, and nothing on combat. And, it's interesting. And some of the big political discussions today, one of them is the integration of women into the SEAL teams, into special operations, into infantry units, and everyone's always focused on, if they can meet standards and if they're, if they go out and serve, right? And they're focused on training, and the people that are talking about training at the highest levels because they don't know what it's like to be in real combat, and real combat is infinitely harder than the toughest. I mean, why are we talking about integrating the NFL? Where you got huge, big, strong guys that are smashing each other, and yet that's, maybe you get a concussion, maybe you tear your ACL, maybe you break your elbow, or snap your wrist. you're not going to get killed. Very rarely does someone get killed in a football game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where combat is infinitely harder than that, infinitely more difficult than that, and so and unlike a football game that's over in just a couple of hours, you're talking about something that can last weeks, months, even years, and it's just the physical nature of combat cannot be overstated. It is incredibly difficult, and people are shocked to hear that. I'd be like, tell me some stories about bugs. Like, bugs make it through.
Yeah.
It's combat where you're, and you'll see it too. Guys who excelled in bugs because they're great athletes. Sometimes will go to the battlefield and like an IED. I saw an IED going off about a block away from me, and we were sitting on the rooftop in a sniper position. It's my first deployment before Jocko and I were on that. And all of a sudden, there's a 100-foot fireball that goes up in the air, and the blast wave hits me and just knocks me on my ass. And just metal fragments and shards of concrete and stuff just raining down all over the place from a block away, from us. And it was like, damn, that is.
If not for a witness to the hoax hate crime, we would be dealing with Jussie Smollett 2.0. And this is, I know it's cliche to say this, but this is a disservice to every actual victim of a real hate crime. Here's the story. Ex-Tampa Bay Buccaneers NFL player 31 is charged with trashing two of his own restaurants so he could collect insurance money. Is that what it was really about, insurance money? We don't know that's true. So the police basically said it may have been for attention, we don't know. But if there wasn't a witness nearby who saw him pull it off, this would be a very, very different story. That's from the police. This guy would be a victim. How many times does this happen? There's actually websites dedicated to tracking hoax hate crimes. And then so you ask yourself, but why? Why would someone spray paint MAGA and the N-word in their own business? Think about the press. Before it was revealed, in all likelihood, that Jussie Smollett staged everything, he had the cast of Big Bang Theory doing this big promo photo shoot. He had Ellen Page on that, Colbert or whatever going, this is wrong what they're doing. Everyone, so after Jussie, this is one of the big, if one person is the victim, they prop him up, they pray. .com/donate if you would like to support my work. There are multiple ways you can do this. Physical address, PayPal. Here's the thing. This kind of stuff, and it's going to get deranked. It's going to get demonetized. It's a guarantee. It's if you like this content and you want to help me do more, just minds on Facebook, on Twitter. Let's break some echo chambers. And I always put it this way. If YouTube won't recommend my content, if Facebook won't recommend my content, because that's how the system works, then so be it. And it's up to you guys, if you think I do a good job, to share it. And they can never stop that. They can't take away the ability to share. They can try and derank me all day and night. So long as I'm doing something good, we will break through that obstacle. Let's read the story. A former NFL player was arrested by police for allegedly wrecking two of his own businesses to stage a fake hate crime and be eligible to receive insurance money. Maybe. They think that called the insurance company, I believe this is. The two businesses belonged to former NFL player and local business owner Edwin Kaufman. Inside the businesses, officers found monkey, the N-word, MAGA, and swastika scrawled on the wall in fresh black spray paint. The smell of spray paint was very fresh when officers touched it. The paint appeared wet, a news release from police said. The cushions were reportedly sliced open, mirrors were broken, wires were cut, TVs were missing, and the surveillance system was broken. You can see there it says, monkey, and they knifed the seats. According to a corporal, I believe CPL corporal, Michelle Pajera, saw one that matched the description leaving a shopping center. Behind the wheel was Kaufman. If it weren't for that, officers noticed both inside and in the bed of his truck that were still attached to brackets with damaged drywall. Kaufman was also wearing a pair of gloves. The Gwinnett Daily Post reported he was wearing gloves, but come on, man. The 31-year-old told authorities he realized his business had been burglarized earlier in the day, but contacted his insurance company instead of the local police. Yes, That's Thursday. Oh, are you? As if any of these, like out of work dudes supported Trump are going around spray painting MAGA on walls. It's just the most insane caricature of what a Trump supporter would be. The wheel was Kaufman. Officers noticed several TVs. I guess it's just so you get the TV. Look at the wall is still on the TVs in the back. Allegedly used. Kaufman was arrested in the early morning and electronic shop in a pizza place. Is he not making money? Or maybe he wants himself corruption. I gotta take care of my family. I gotta buy far for the average person. This guy doesn't care that he is damaging more than just a business. He doesn't care that politics in this country are reaching a tipping point, a crucial point where violence has been breaking out the streets and people are showing up to immigration facilities with weapons. He doesn't care. What does he care about? Presumably the insurance money and getting on TV, just like Jussie Smollett in Mars. And here's what always happens. I highlight this. Why? Because it is an extreme anomaly of someone trying to take it with will, and like clockwork, the left comes out and claims, because I cover one hoax, I'm saying hate crimes don't exist. Of course they do. And they probably occur way more than things like this. Amount friends and family for attacked and having their business destroyed. And when it happens, I want a thorough investigation, and I will say, but it is a fact. Crimes, and it's not outrageous and cartoonish like MAGA being spray painted on a wall. This had not called us. And if you're talking about a completely different crime in which Mr. Kaufman would be trying to say he's a victim. He would be. And he would be, they'd put him on TV, they'd put him on every late night show, and he would say, oh, Trump's America, oh, Trump's America. Good, you got caught. It would have been a massive, massive strike against Pence's fault. And then, where were these people? You see the asymmetry? This is the game. They can cheat and win. And this is what scares me about all of this. I refuse. I won't cheat. I don't. I have principles. I have integrity. I want to protect the innocent. I want to stop the hate crimes. I want real justice. No matter what the color of your skin is or your orientation, you don't want to play this game. No. Because they're dirty cheaters. So we can't do that. We might lose. This could happen again. In fact, another guy who owns a business next door could do the same thing and then say, he's going to claim he's innocent. The cops are going to say, we got evidence. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I assure you, there will be people right now on forums claiming he's innocent and the cops are framing him to protect the police, the patriarchy, or whatever the hell. Granted, that'll be few and far between. It'll be a very small amount of people, but they college will be smeared as white supremacists. And that's what they've been doing. I'm not I can say it for the millionth time. Okay, it is fake. Let's read a little bit. As the investigation continues, the number of victims will be determined. We're also looking into the fact that his insurance company could also be a victim, depending on if a claim was in process. There's also so we have to look outside the box to see how many victims we truly have. Kaufman was bonded out of jail. This story is not going to get any attention. So if you made it, it's really frustrating to me that evil people, self-interested, destructive monsters can pull charge criminally, but the court of public opinion will ignore them. Ignore them. 5 minutes faster. Just 5 minutes. They couldn't catch him. The witness wasn't there. The Nike shoes. Look at that. Look at that swoosh on that shoulder pad. Yeah, look at that swoosh. I'm sure they'd love to prop him up if he got away with it. So how many times does something like this have to happen? They say that the lie travels halfway around the world before the truth has a chance to strap on its boots. But there's also fair for the lie to take a train around the world, and when the truth steps up to say, get out. We don't care, and we don't want anyone to know. This guy didn't make the lie work, but it's still not a lie. People would spin that around the world and give it a first-class flight all the way from New York to Hong Kong and back. But when he gets busted, does exist first and foremost, and there is no lie. Nobody wants to buy a ticket. Nope, sorry, this story won't ship. We just don't want it. And so you're not going to see people go on Colville. You're not going to see the Big Bang Theory cast come out and say justice for Trump supporters. Nope. Just want to win with it. Fortunately, he didn't. But I'll leave it there. Stick around. Next segment will be coming up at YouTube on this channel at 1 p.m. And I will see you all. A video has been going viral showing surveillance camera footage of a man in downtown Minneapolis being beaten and robbed, and it is a brutal and graphic video. If you haven't seen it, trigger warning. And I mean it. I'm not one to actually, entertain these fake trigger warnings, but this is legit. This is a dude being beaten, stripped, run over with a bike, jumped on, kicked, punched, robbed, all these things. Some people might not want to see that. So I give you that warning. Now here's the thing. A lot of people are blaming Ilhan Omar per 5 Eyewitness News and then show you this story. That's my work. When dealing with stories like this that are contentious, I can get in trouble. YouTube doesn't allow the news story from a credible source. That means I may get demonetized, deranked. So 2 things. Support my work through PayPal, a cryptocurrency, or a physical address, or share this video because YouTube is definitely not going to, they're going to derank it. Let's read. Has arrested more than a dozen suspects involved in a crime ring that focused on robbing cell phones from intoxicated people and then beating the victims. According to a report provided by Minneapolis police spokesperson John Elder, a 3-day sweep conducted 2 weeks ago, ended with police arresting
Hola, en este vídeo os voy a mostrar cómo entrar en modo DFU en un iPod Classic de 120 gigas, que es el modelo A1238. A ver, no sé si lo vais a poder ver, pero aparece una...
from the iPod Clinic. I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks for your iPods and iPhones. In this video,
I'm sure I'm not the first one to spot this, but who in the world thought it was a good idea for Melania to wear this coat in the 9/11 photo? It legit looks like an object is flying into a tower or the Washington Monument.
What?
Screw you, blocked. Oh yeah, Trump is a racist.
Yeah, that's a real person. I'm Tyler Zed. Welcome to Zeducation. Welcome back to another episode of Things That Didn't Age Well. And this week we're going to cover something that is very, very important. A bookmark in our history that we need to remember. And this video is documentation. With the 2020 elections coming up right around the corner, people are losing their minds all over again. Case in point, Cher. Cher says that if Trump is reelected, he'll put LGBTQ people in internment camps. Yes. Yes. This again. Yes. I have a friend who legitimately thought this in 2016. And clearly that didn't age well because that hasn't happened and it never will happen. This type of hysteria is something that we need to document and put in the archives of history so that people in the future believe us when we tell them that this happened. Another example that we've covered in previous episodes. This guy who says he sold all of his stocks. What a dumb decision. What a dumb decision. And that's why I decided to feature Trump derangement syndrome in this week's Things That Didn't Age Well. But first, before we get to that, subscribe. Now, onto this week's Things That Didn't Age Well, Trump derangement syndrome. Number 5. Flip-flopping on issues is one of the most common symptoms of Trump derangement syndrome. Take, for instance, Keith Olbermann, when on November 6 in 2016, he tweeted,
Nope, our one bipartisan moment. This man's position at the FBI is no longer tenable. Fire Comey.
It was all for firing Comey. Firing Comey. And then, when Trump actually did
Speak of Donald Trump, you have just impeached yourself. Hashtag flee.
Keith Olbermann, everyone. Mind you, he's a sportscaster. ESPN, everyone. This is your ESPN of today. Number 4. Moving from sportscaster to the media. Another flip-flop situation here. Let's take a look at one of the Rubin wrote an article titled, Iran is not honoring the deal. So why should we? And that was under Obama. But when Trump gets into office, she writes articles like this. 5 big consequences of Trump's Iran blunder. That aged so well. Aged so well. You gotta love the media. Number 3. Now, Trump derangement syndrome is not exclusive to lefties. There are many Republicans who have been bitten by the bug as well. John Kasich, he got it pretty bad. In 2015, John Kasich tweeted, absolutely, the Iran deal must be stopped. And in 2018, because John Kasich is a never-Trumper, he said this about Iran. President Trump's decision to withdraw from the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action was a mistake. So in 2015, it's not a mistake, but then when Trump does it, it is a mistake. Yeah, that makes sense, John. That makes sense. Number 2. For number 2, we're going to stick with another Republican. And this one. Ooh, I love this one. Republican billionaire, wealthiest donor in Ohio, quits nonsense party of Trump. Praises Obama. And then what we've learned about Jeffrey Epstein's mysterious ties to Les Wexner. Wexner? You've got ties to Epstein? Maybe that's why you Trump. On to this week's number 1. One of my favorites, Jerry Nadler. This is formal impeachment proceedings. Impeach. Jerry Nadler is pushing the impeachment agenda. But what did he say about impeachment under Bill Clinton? In a transcript from 1998, Jerry said this. There are clearly some members of the Republican majority who have never accepted the results of the 1992 or 1996 elections. You don't say. You don't say. Is that what's happening now, or maybe you should elaborate? 1 week later, here's Jerry in December of 1998.
There must never be a narrowly voted impeachment or an impeachment supported by one of our major political parties and opposed by the other. Such an impeachment will produce the divisiveness and bitterness in our politics for years to come. and will call into question the very legitimacy of our political institutions. The Americans are impeaching him. They elected President Clinton. They still support him. We have no right to overturn the considered judgment of the American people.
Huh. Interesting that you say that with the Democrat president, but now you change your mind. Clearly, Trump derangement syndrome is a very, very real thing. People forget what they have said in the past, things they've stood for in the past, and then they go against Trump because it goes against Trump. That's it. That's the only reason why. So let's make sure that people in the future, they know what happened here and now. And hopefully this video is around then. And if you're watching in the future, yes, people lost their minds. People went insane. Please hit like if you can't stand the double.
Now, the Speaker of the House of Commons, John Bercow, announced this week that he will stand down either when a general election is called or on the 31st of October, whichever comes first. Now, one of the leading candidates to replace him is Harriet Harman, the former Deputy Labour leader. She joins us now. Thank you very much for being with us. So why do you think you're better than all of the other candidates to be the next Speaker?
Well, I think it's a very difficult and challenging time for our parliamentary democracy, and the divisions of Brexit, an additional casualty from those divisions has been, and there will be a rate. Then it leads to go aside that, and it is one of the casualties of the divisions over Brexit, and we really need to address that, all MPs, but also centrally the Speaker.
And I guess some people would say it's not extremism. People just feel completely disillusioned with this is a joke.
Yes, but if people lack confidence, and it's evident that they do lack trust and confidence in Parliament, that is a problem. We can't just say, well, they're justified in that. Our parliamentary democracy is the foundation of how this country is run. So recognise the scale of the problem.
Try and rebuild that trust then. What's your pitch?
Well, I think that the Speaker has always had a very important role inside Parliament, making sure each MP is able to have their voice heard each and every day. And also that there's a good relationship between Parliament and government. But I think now it's very important for the Speaker to have a role in the country as a whole, to Speaker, but also listen to what people are saying. And between now and October, and going around the country, actually listening to people change more with the times, that it's old-fashioned, that it's out of
charge that he's laid at Boris Johnson, which is that concerns about sovereignty were secondary to another concern for Boris. What was the best outcome? The conclusion left with is he risked an outcome he didn't believe in because it would help his political.
It is. He led the campaign, and you'll recall, Sophie, at the time, the Remain side to delivering it. And I think the main thing is to 20,000 police on the streets, apparently investment 34 billion